not going to say that somebody has stinky breath, but somebody has stinky breath.
Stinky breath. Okay, you take your cigar.
You're such a good boy. All right.
I love you so much.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Morning, everyone. Welcome to Toad TV. I am Mary Beth.
I am Helen.
And we are the creative hands and minds behind Toad Hollow, where we dye yarn.
We make beautiful shawls.
And we make beautiful shawls. And
we get overly proud of and feel the need to display.
well, you should. I'm sorry. That's gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. You can find us at toadhollowNJ.com. That is our website. We are all over the internet as Toad Hollow NJ, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. On YouTube, since you know you're here. But anyway, we are the Crafty Toads. We are also the Crafty Toads on Ravelry. And we have a Facebook group that is Crafting with the Toads.
Crafting with the Toads.
Crafting with the Toads. And there people show us all their beautiful work, and you should definitely come and join us because I can guarantee you we will get you interested in starting something new.
It is enabling central.
Yes, it is. It's just, oh my goodness.
Susan put up her sweater that she's crocheting, and I was looking at this one. I could crochet a sweater.
You could. Whether you would want to or not is a whole nother question.
It's so pretty. I'm just like,
it
I
is.
can do that.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is. There's some really, really pretty things going on over there, so you should definitely check it out.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yes.
Okay. So, I hope you had a good weekend. Was it good for you? It's been beautiful here.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
The weather, actually, it's kind of alarming.
Yeah.
How long it's been since we had a good soaking. It was a very dry April, which is very strange because we normally April showers. Also, the state of New Jersey appears to be on fire.
Well, that's the thing I was going to say, as evidenced by the fact that there's a huge forest fire about 15 miles away from us that is raging over 900 acres. Yeah. So that's just kind of scary.
I woke up this morning because I had my windows open. The smell woke me up, and I was in an absolute panic that the house was on fire. That's how strong the smoke is here.
Yeah. So,
You.
Somebody's about to say hello.
Can't even go outside because Buttercup's outside.
Only it's Buttercup 2.
We have duck wars going on.
Yeah. Oh, God.
We're having turf wars with the ducks. We had Buttercup 2 out there on Saturday. She was in the backyard, but she was lying down, like her head was down very low to the ground, and we thought she was dead. But then we went outside and she moved a little bit, but as soon as she moved, from the roof comes Wesley, and he starts henpecking her, and she's running away from him, and so we had to chase Wesley away, and
We told him the front yard was his, and Buttercup 2 gets the backyard.
right, and Humperdinck can do whatever he wants.
He can go back and forth.
Humperdinck, he plays both sides. Humperdinck's a traitor and plays both sides. Sometimes he's with Wesley and Buttercup, and sometimes he's with Buttercup too. So
Yeah, it's just...
and Wesley and Buttercup allow him, but they do not like Buttercup too.
And meanwhile, Buttercup is marching back and forth along the ridgepole of the house.
Telling Wesley to get rid of that hussy.
Yes. Honestly, it's always something. Also, we have blue jays. The blue jays have come back. They don't stay very long, but they're here right now.
Yeah,
so.
blue jays are not prevalent here we've had them before in other places we've lived. And we've had the red-breasted grosbeak.
Rose-breasted
grosbeak.
grosbeak.
We have a red-headed woodpecker, which I put up on Instagram today.
I'm pretty sure we have a male and a female of that. And then we have, we saw a Baltimore Oriole too, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, those are definitely migratory. I only saw them the one time.
So yeah, it's very interesting to see all the birds that are filtering through.
And this year we're getting more than we normally do. We don't know, and I don't know whether it's that we're this
COVID-19 restrictions have been lifted. So.
I mean, there's travel. The travel ban has been lifted, and the birds are allowed to migrate. Or if also, we're that far. We're 4 years into the cycle of feeding them and everything like that. So It's just, it's really interesting. And
We
I
have become
love it.
a stop on the train
Right.
line going south. It's fantastic. It really is. We just, every day we're looking at, we're like, oh, there's a new one. There's a
Right.
brown one now that's got like white tufts over his eyes. He's very small, but he's
like
got
a
white tufty
A
things over his
sparrow, but then like the white owl tufty things over his
Kinda
eyes.
cool.
So
Yeah, so we've been keeping track of them.
yeah.
Anyway, all right, so let's talk some knitting. We had a question from last week, 2 weeks ago. Megan Manning said that she wants to start the hi-ho kit soon, and she's wondering about changing yarn colors.
For those who are new, this is the hi-ho wrap, designed by Corey Eichelberger. It is absolutely stunning.
And it is done in our Snow White yarn, which is the white, and then there's
I love how
7...
you're pointing to the Snow White yarn
Right.
in the back.
You can see my hand going. So you can see. And then there's 7 stripes from Mini Skein's Mini Skein kit that comes with it that are the 7 dwarves. And the question was changing the yarn colors when it comes time. How do you change the yarn colors? So
It's really very easy.
yes,
You just it's always easiest to change yarn colors at the beginning of a row.
right.
But you essentially change your color. And for when you're doing the hi-ho wrap, I would carry me personally, I would carry Snow White up,
Yeah.
right, for this distance.
Yes, definitely.
So I would not cut Snow White. I would just introduce the new color, and this is the way I do it, and Mary Beth will say how she does it. So I just, when it's time to switch to the purple, I just knit the first stitch with the new yarn, and then now I have not tails. I have the tail from the purple yarn, and then I have the Snow White.
And you want to leave yourself a decent tail.
Right, leave yourself several inches of tail. And what I do then is for the next stitch, I will wrap Snow White and the tail of the purple around my working yarn before I knit the stitch. And then I'll knit the stitch, because essentially that's weaving in as you go. I will then drop Snow White, and then for the next several stitches, I will continue to wrap the tail of the purple around the working yarn so that I'm weaving it in, but I'm going to leave myself enough tail after several stitches that then I can go back in and just do the added strength of weaving it in with the darning needle at the
For
end.
like a couple of stitches.
For a couple of stitches. I've done most of the work by weaving it in as I go. And then as I start each new row, not each new row, but as I get to the
So you knit across in the purple.
right, and then you come back in with the pearls or whatever in the pattern,
Right.
and you come back, and then when I start the third row, I'm going to wrap the Snow White again around the working yarn for the first stitch, and that's the way I carry it up.
Right.
So each time I get back to the beginning, I wrap the Snow White or whatever the yarn I'm carrying around the working yarn.
Right. Okay. So I do it just a little bit differently. When I start a new color, I hold the color. So if I'm doing this and I'm doing Snow White and I'm now ready to start the purple, I hold the purple and the Snow White together and I knit the first stitch with both of them together so that I have knit Snow White into that first stitch, and the stitch basically has 2 stitches, but it's 1 stitch. Then what I do is I pick up the tail, I drop Snow White and I pick up the tail of the purple, and for the next 4 stitches, I knit the 2 things together, the 2 strands together as 1 strand, so that I have 5 stitches at the end that I know they're double stranded, that I'm going to have to knit those 2 strands together as 1 stitch. You're not knitting 2 stitches together, it's 2 strands as 1 stitch, and it's very easy to see when you do it. When you come back, it's really very easy to see, especially if you keep that in your mind that you have to do it. And then when I'll knit the purple all the way over, come back, and then the way I carry my yarn up is at the beginning of every line that I'm knitting over, I knit Snow White and the purple together for 1 stitch. that carries Snow White up for me. And when you come back and knit those two strands together, you don't even see it. So I have, here is my surprise party shawl. And that's the front. All right, so this is, I have to figure out which side. See, I can't even see where it is that I knit the two colors together. Okay, you can see, I'm trying to think which is the one, because I've carried the Unbirthday all the way. You can see, if you look very carefully,
You lift it up a little.
that the orange, there's a white strand along the edge of it, but really you can barely see it. And that's the way I carry it up.
It's not even noticeable.
It's not. So that,
I mean, the only time it would be noticeable is if you're like carrying a black and white.
right. And even then, it's at the edge, which is going to be wrapped under and
Right.
everything.
And, I
so
mean,
that it's just, so that's the way I find it easiest to do, is that I just knit the two strands together as one stitch for that first stitch, and then I keep going with whatever color I'm on. And I'm trying to think how,
It makes it a slightly bulkier edge, and I mean slightly.
okay, so here are the two edges. So that you can see them right next to each other. And really,
And it's just, you know, like, I can't even tell right now.
yeah, that's the thing. You
Yeah.
can't even tell
Which one's
it's
which.
it's
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
so
it's like here you can just, up close I can see that this is where you join colors. Because it's got a slight bump right here.
yeah, but this is the side.
Oh, okay, so never mind.
Yeah,
She
it's just
She just has a wonky stitcher.
yeah. So that it's really you can't even tell,
Yeah.
especially on fingering yarn.
Yeah.
On DK yarn, it might be a little bit more noticeable because the yarn is that much thicker. But again, the entire piece that you're working on is that much thicker.
And no matter
so-
how you choose to do it, I mean, if you're on Aran weight yarn, it's going to be bulkier. But whether you knit the stitch, whether you wrap the stitch, when you're changing colors and you're weaving in ends, there's always going to be a little bit of a bulk
right.
to that particular area. It goes with the handmade look.
So what I do is then, after I'm done with the color, so here now I'm done with the purple, I've done my couple of lines of Snow White and I'm ready to start the blue. What I will do is then I will take my end and I will just weave it in 2 or 3 stitches and snip it. And then you're done and you move on.
Right.
And it's very, very easy. And I have gotten myself, I'm pretty good at weaving in the ends as I finish the color so that...
You're much better than I am.
I don't have
my
it.
surprise party is just a bunch of strands hanging all
Yeah.
over the place right now.
Yeah, and I mean, here, I've done all my ends. There are no ends. And then when I'm done, I'm finishing, so it's the last row of the purple, and I'm going to be done. Then my next row of Snow White that I'm starting, I hold the purple, and I knit with the Snow White for 5 stitches, so that I have my 5 stitches that I've gotten the end of it done, and then I snip the purple, leaving myself a little bit of an end that I can weave in at the end and go on with the Snow
Right.
White. And you do the same thing, only instead of knitting it,
I
weave
wrap it.
You
Yeah.
wrap it around. So that is the best way I can think of to talk about it. As long as it is stripes like this thick, I will
This is
carry
about as far as I'll go.
the yarn up. I brought my Part-A-Lot shawl to show because it has bigger stripes, bigger sections. So I would not carry the blue and green all the way up this yellow. I snip it when I'm done and then knit the yellow along. And then when I get to here where I'm done doing the yellow and the blue slip stitch, then I snipped the yellow and just did the blue so that For larger sections, I don't carry it, even though I know it's coming back. I just know that I'll knit it in
Yeah.
at the
And
beginning.
when you're carrying it, the one thing you do have to worry about is when you start, especially the way I do it with wrapping the stitch, because it's not necessarily anchored, it's just wrapped, so that when you start the section of using Snow White again, resist the urge to pull tightly, because you're going to pull this.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, essentially what you do is what you have is a loose strand of yarn wrapped around. It's not anchored at all, so that if you pull too tightly, what you'll do is you'll scrunch this section because
Yeah.
you're pulling your yarn too tightly. So it's just kind of keep a loose hand when you're doing it. It's not.
Right.
It's just, don't be like, oh, why is this so loose? Because I've done that before. It's like,
Oh my
ah,
goodness! Do you
okay.
know there was when I was doing one of my first Helen Stewart shawls, I was like, this yarn is just way too loose, and I pulled it tight, and now it's like the middle of the shawl is just accordion because I did that. Yeah, don't pull loose strands. It's
Right.
not a good idea. So that is one thing as far as knitting it in. It does anchor it down so that you don't have to worry
You
about
don't have
that.
to worry so much about pulling. Yeah.
So that's our way of doing it. I know that there are lots of other ways to do it, but that's the way the two of us do it, and I figure that's the way we're the most comfortable talking
Right.
about it. So if you decide you want to start the hi-ho kit, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous shawl. Everybody who knit it has told us how much they loved making it.
Right.
So I hope you do and enjoy it. But yeah.
Yeah, it was introduced last year at Maryland, and it has sustained a year plus.
Yeah.
It always does well.
Yes.
So.
This is one that people are like, oh, what is that?
Yeah.
It's always good to have a couple of those. Like that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We have to get to work. We hope you guys have a great rest of the day.
Yes. We are packing a tremendous amount of Chesapeake Bay today.
Yep.
So,
Mailman's going to love us.
yes. And
However.
notifications will be going out. So.
Yeah. Get yourself ready.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So have a great rest of the day,
Go forth and create.
and we will see you on Friday.
Bye.
Bye.